Hello and welcome to this quick presentation of ExcelToSage. ExcelToSage is a new application that allows you to easily bring data in from Excel into Sage 50 with just one click. My name is Ara Martirosyan. I'm a chartered accountant and I'll be running you through this particular presentation. So what kind of key data is being keyed into Sage 50 from Excel? Well, it depends if you're an accountant in business or in practice. If you're in business, you're likely to be bringing in things like web sales or EPOS sales. You might be doing some stock adjustments that you've calculated in your spreadsheet, or more like lots of general ledger journals to do with payroll costs, salesmen's commissions, that kind of thing. If you're in practice, things are slightly different. The likelihood is you'll be doing adjustments on behalf of clients to do with depreciation, accruals, management recharges, or in more complex scenarios, you'd be dealing with possibly intercompany recharges, intercompany stock transfers, and intercompany sales. Sage 50 does have its own utility, but it's not very intuitive or easy to use, and it only allows you to bring data into one company at a time. So it doesn't cover the main day-to-day activities, things like sales invoices and purchase invoices very easily. So ExcelToSage takes away that particular headache and just allows you to bring stuff in directly from Excel into Sage 50 with just one click, which is what we'll look at in a second. The types of transactions that are covered depend on the version of the product that you have. In the single company version and the multi-company version, you have the ability to create customers, suppliers, product codes, sales invoice batches, purchase invoice batches, normal ledger journals, as well as stock adjustments. However, in the multi-company version, you're also able to put in intercompany or multi-company sales and purchases, intracompany stock transfers, and intercompany normal ledger journals. By default, the single company version obviously only has one company, but the multi-company version starts with 2 companies and extra companies can be purchased in blocks of 5. Well, the benefits are very dependent on the type of accountant that you are. If you're in business, it's really easy to use. You do most of your work in Excel, so why not use that to import stuff into Sage? There's no rekeying of data required, and you can reverse things pretty easily because all you do is change the data in Excel and press the import button again. It gets rid of rekeying errors because you're only using one set of data, and you can repeat imports time and time again. So if you've got a depreciation journal, for instance, you can then process that every month. If you're in practice, you can bring many benefits to your client, because the way most practices work is they ask the client to back up the Sage 50 data, who then emails that through to the practice. The practice then restores it, makes those adjustments. Having done that, they then back it up and send it back to the client. Of course, this causes disruption to the client's business, whereas with ExcelToSage, all the practice needs to do is produce the Excel spreadsheet and just email it to the client. The client can open it up, review it, or just process it directly with a click of a button. Another major benefit for practices is in the inter or multi-company scenario, whereby you can save significant amount of time by processing transaction once in multiple companies. So in effect, you can halve your workload. So in summary, easy to use, very cost effective, works on Excel, and the Excel can be done anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the machine that has Sage on it. It has user-defined validation lists, which makes it very easy to tailor. And in the multi-company scenario, it works simultaneously by posting into both companies. So you don't have to log out of one and then move into the second one to process the other side of the transaction. Comments from users have been very complimentary, backing up the really easy to use and the one-click message. It's that simple, and that it's a must-have tool, a killer application for Sage 50 users. And if you're an accountant in practice dealing with lots of Sage 50 accounts, then this could be an excellent way of improving productivity and improving the client service. So here's an example of a sales invoice being keyed into the Excel Sales Invoice tab. You then click one button to say Upload Sales Invoices in ExcelToSage. And hey presto, it's in Sage. So let's go and have a look at that in practice. Here's Sage 50, and I've logged into our demo company, which is the Red IT Solutions Limited L50. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the welcome screen on ExcelToSage. As you can see, it looks very much like the Sage 50 welcome screen. On the left-hand side, we've got all the transactions that we can deal with, both in single company mode and multi-company mode. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to raise a single company journal, and then I'm going to finish the presentation by doing a multi-company sales invoice. So let's start off with a new journal. So if I click on to new journal, there it is. There's a 4-line journal that I've set up, and I'm going to change that time to say, instead of 1630, let's say 1657. There you go. And I'm just going to save that, and I'm going to go back to the menu. It's a 4-line journal. Other things to note here is that we've got drop-down lists with chart of accounts and drop-down lists for VAT codes, so you can pick those, and obviously it won't let you go past unless the total is equal to 0. So if I looked at Sage, for instance, and went into the nominal activity and looked at account number 10, I will see that the last entry was, in fact, reference number 1630. So let's go and import the new one, which is reference number 1657. I'll go to our menu, and I will launch the program ExcelToSage. Get an all Excel warning to say be careful. So this is the application. Very easy. There are tabs at the top one for single company, intercompany, company control accounts, log files, configuration, and requesting a license. So if I start off with the single company one, the first thing I need to do is connect to Sage. And there it is. It's now telling me at the bottom that I'm connected to Sage. And all of a sudden, all the functions have become available to me. So I can either process one of the tabs in the Excel workbook, or I can process them all. So if you're a business accountant in practice, you could set up a complete set of accounts for a fresh company from scratch, and then just upload them all in one go. But in this particular case, all I'm going to do is go and upload a journal. So I'll click on that, and it's gone through, and there you go. It's already finished. So it's put that 4-line journal in for me. So let's go and check it in Sage. I'll go in Sage, check the activity, pick account number 10, say OK to that, go to the bottom, and there we are, 1657, and those are the 4 lines that we've just imported using ExcelToSage. That easy, a single entry. Okay, so let's now do something a lot more complex. Let's do an intercompany sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise a sales invoice in company 1 for customer Red IT 1. I'm going to post it to Sage 50 company 2 into the supplier account Red IT 2. So let's have a look. So I'll go into the multi-company area, and I'll go and raise an intercompany sales invoice. And here it is. So it's going from that source company, which is the one that I'm in, on account Red IT 1. It's going to hit the turnover account in that Sage company of 4,000, which is what we would expect. And again, we've got drop-down lists for these. And it's going to then go into test company 2, and it's going to be the supplier account Red IT 2. And in that company, it's obviously a cost of sales, so it's going to go to the materials purchases account. And further to the right here, I've got details of the reference. So I'll call that Red IT 1701 for argument's sake. And today's date, and it's got VAT code of 17.5% for a total of £100. Okay, so we're ready there. So what I'll do is I'll just save that. I'll go to ExcelToSage. Actually, before I do that, I'll just go and double check that in Red IT 1 we don't have this particular invoice as proof. So let's go into Red IT 1, have a look at the activity, go to the bottom of the list, and the last invoice that was done was Red IT 001. So we're going to be processing a new one. So let's close that off. And what I'm going to do now, go to ExcelToSage. I'm going to go to the Intercompany tab. I'm going to upload a sales invoice. I could have also uploaded a journal or a stock transaction. So off it's gone, and in company 1 it's now posted the sales invoice, and in the company 2 it's posted the purchasing side. So that's all done. Let's go and check it. So into Sage, look at the activity on Red IT 1, go to the bottom, and there we have it. There's the invoice that's just gone in, 1627. And if I go over to the other side, close that down, open up the other company, test company 2, log in, go to the supplier list, look at the activity of Red IT 2, and check that and go to the bottom. There it is, Red IT 1701. And that's the intercompany service on account 5000, which is exactly what we had on our spreadsheet. Well, I hope you found that demonstration of ExcelToSage of interest. As you can see, it is extremely easy to use, and we're hoping that you'll find it of interest. Those are my contact details. My emails are at red-it.co.uk with that phone number, or alternatively, please feel free to go to the website www.exceltosage.co.uk, where you'll be able to get the latest information, and if you need to contact us about any queries, please feel free to send an email to info@exceltosage.co.uk or red-it.co.uk, and we'll be more than happy to respond to your queries. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and please feel free to contact us if we can be of any help.